Welcome back to another episode on the hovercraft. So this should be the last episode of the GU rebuild. This is just the final 10%, the little things that didn't get done before the trip or show up before the trip. So we're just tying up the loose ends so this thing is full, tour ready, and everything is fresh underneath. All right, and to kick off the first part of this video, we're installing a new diff housing. So this diff housing is from D-Wiz. It's a sheet metal diff housing. And it's got a rating of 2 ton, so you can actually get your GVM to 4.49 ton. Now we're doing this because of the weight of the Duramax. So that's a 600 kilo engine and box together. So it's a lot heavier than a factory TD or a ZD or something like that. D-Wiz is coming out with a rear diff housing soon, which should be able to bring your GVM to 4.5 ton in a Patrol, which is an Australian first. It also looks really cool, so I'm keen to get everything together. We've completely stripped out old diff of all the things that we needed, given them a clean up and repainted everything, so it's all gonna be nice and fresh. We've got new calipers, brake lines, rebuild kit, pads, rotors, absolutely everything brand new, so we shouldn't have any issues. First things first, we're gonna throw our studs in. I'm gonna show you a little trick with these studs. If you don't have a stud extractor tool or a removal tool, you can use the 2-nut method. I'm pretty sure I've shown this on the channel beforehand. You screw one stud on, one nut on, next nut on, tighten up first nut onto second nut, squeeze of this extremely expensive forbidden raspberry jam, and then screw them in and repeat the process like, oh, wrong way. Repeat the process all of the time.
Alrighty, while Mitch is rebuilding the front diff, we have got a bunch of little odd jobs to sort out, so I'm going to work on that today. We've got the new billet arms from Superior Engineering going in. I'm pretty excited for that. New screen, the bloody Tesla screen, if you've seen that on my Instagram. We've got to make some brackets, some mounts of filters, and we've got to build a bar as well. So there's a bunch of stuff going to get onto, so we'll rip into that. We pretty much need this car done in the next couple of weeks. I only see 2 days while we're building the Hilux, we're sorting this out, but it needs a full kind of the last 10% finish from the actual build we did. So let's rip in and get it done. Are you one of those people that like eats the icing on the cake before the rest of the cake and then actually just leaves the rest of the cake for someone else to eat? That's me. So we're gonna start with the flashiest thing on the car because that's the fun thing, and that are these 7075 billet aluminium aircraft grade arms from Superior Engineering. I've had these sitting in my shed for like the last probably month just staring at me, and it looks so damn good. So these are fully engineered to be stronger than the steel ones, believe it or not, but they're so much lighter, and I've gone for the option to add the stainless bash plate on the bottom, so that just helps if you do go off-roading. It's gonna like protect your arm, so this is kind of a replaceable part and you don't have to like ruin your good billet arm. All the bushes are OEM, so they're all factory, good quality. They've actually added a little grub screw in here as well to stop it from any movement, just a bit of peace of mind with that. But I do have the long arm kit already in the Patrol, so these are for long arm, and you can have standard length as well. Actually, any car with lower control arms like your MP300s, 80 series, 79s, they are all available for them as well, so go check them out. But I'm gonna get these in. The car's still covered in mud from the bloody desert, but don't worry about that. We're gonna make this thing look good with, oh, you're probably wondering why my rear diff's apart. So the LSD completely just disintegrated, so I had to get a whole new diff center rebuilt. So I need to do that as well. And I do have to do pinion gears and bearings and bushes and seals, so it's another job on the list. Alrighty, the new arms are in and they look damn good. Even though this car just got built, it's already like the flashiest thing on here. So I don't know if I'm the first person ever to run these on a Patrol. So comment down below if you have these, because I know Superior have sold a few already and I was a little bit late to the party to get them installed, but it may be one of the first Patrols in the country with the billet arms. So pretty sick. What we're doing now is we're gonna sort this pinion out. Now, I got really mad when the guy rang me from the Diff shop and said, oh, your center's rooted, the carrier bearings have all delaminated, which means the oil that's run through your pinion bearings would have done the same thing, because I hate doing pinions because they're such a crucial component and you got to do it like over and over to get it right. Make sure you get the right mesh on the gears, the crown wheel. So we're gonna have to do it. But the good thing is apparently these H260s don't have a crush washer. They use a solid spacer. So a couple of new bearings here. We're gonna pull this out and replace them. I mean, it's not too bad, but the thing is, if you get your spacing and your shim wrong and it's not running true on the gear, you literally have to pull the whole thing apart and start again. So it could be 2 or 3 goes, but hopefully we get it the first time. So rip this out, push the bearings off, press the new ones on, and fingers crossed if we put the same shims back in, this gear is getting reused, so it should be fine, hopefully. Okay, that was a little bit scary. The press went bang, but that's fine. We got it off, and there is a shim on the bottom of this gear. Now there are a couple of shims on the top here, so I'm gonna put them on the same way. They just sat there like that. So new bearing I'll press on. Got to put the race in the housing, and then drop this bearing on here. Oh, Jesus. And then push the lower one on. I might have to get a bit of tube the right diameter and use the press and just push that on. I think I'm gonna heat it up a little bit or chuck it in the oven, because this one was extremely tight. So a little bit of heat will probably help it just go on that little bit easier. So press this bearing on and then we'll clean up the whole housing, push it back in, and fingers crossed it's the right setting. Tell you what, I should have got this bloke to do it. Bit safer, isn't it?
You wear a hat, they call dad. Me, I'm the dad in a hat. You just like clubbing and clothes. Me, I like afternoon naps. 3, I be missed for the road. My oldest like counting racks. My middle one, she's in a dirt bike. My youngest is just like a mama. The mama loves me and I love her, so if she wants something, it's never a bother. 3 little ladies, my babies, and 1 on the way. Now I'm stressing my mama. And don't try to play.
Oh God, it has been a long time since I've done a pinion gear bearings. Anyway, it's like riding a bike. I think I've sorted it out. All right, so I had to get a bit creative, use a bit of tube to press the bearings on. But I think what I've got now is, thank God the back one was able to just sort of be hammered on. And I think it's in there. Now what I'm gonna do now is, you kind of got to, obviously without a crush tube, it's not as hard, but what I want to do is just make sure all the bearings are seated. So I'm going to throw this back on and rattle up the nut like super tight, so you pretty much won't be able to spin it. And then, oh, I better put the seal in. And then put this on. All right, like I said, we've got to rattle up this nut, which will make it really tight, probably to the point where it won't be able to spin. Then we'll back it off, and that will hopefully crush up all of the bearings, make sure they're all seated. All right, see how that won't spin? It's fairly tight, but that's made sure that the bearings are nice and pressed up. So I might just give it a few more ugga-duggers. And now you want to back it off and pretty much set it like you would a wheel bearing. Kind of get it so it's loose again, and then nip it up, and you can actually press the ends of these in with a screwdriver, and that means it won't rattle undone. Now what I am going to do before finishing this is I'm going to leave that nut. I'm not going to knock the ends in and lock it in just yet, because I'm going to put the center in, set the carrier bearings, and check the ring pattern. If it's not sitting properly on the crown wheel, we're going to have to pull it apart and reshim it. So I'm not going to do that just yet. That'll be the last thing we do, but let's get the center together. I've got some new carrier bearings to go on, and we'll throw it in and hopefully it works. I've got some bearing blue, we'll check that out. That's feeling good.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Look at my posters, say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm, yeah. Tell them all to move on, yeah. My posters, say now, they be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across, yeah. Heard them lasers talking now and we don't pay that no mind. Didn't need to watch them know that I'll be here in no time. Put a candle on and had to tell them they could blow mine. Lights, camera, action, shows. Smoking that dope from Edmond. We the new meth in Redmond. We ain't real blood but we brethren.
Well, hallelujah to the gods. We got lucky today, boys, because I've just checked the wear and it's sitting pretty good on the crown wheel. So I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna have to pull it apart and change it. We got a backlash. Hear that, just a little bit of backlash, about 50 thou, and we're good. I mean, I'm not sure about the pinion preload, but I think it's fine. Just chuck it back in the car. Alrighty guys, something very special came in the mail yesterday, and it's something that stemmed back from the Sydney 4 Drive show. I jumped over to see Jamie from PVS, and he just had this insane setup for a Patrol that I'd never seen before. Huge screen, look, let me just show you. This huge screen for a GU. I can't believe it's finally getting brought into the bloody 21st century. You can go split screen, a couple of different apps running. It's got all your wireless CarPlay. And one of my favorite things, there's still buttons to press for volume and that. The worst thing is when you get a screen like this and you've got to like scroll around to change things, it still has buttons, your home page, your bloody CarPlay, all of that. Now this is a full replacement for the center dash on the Patrol, okay? So you get rid of your stereo, you get rid of the top storage container, and then your aircon vents are all molded into this kit. So when you purchase one of these from PVS, you'll get the complete unit, all the attachments, all the cable. It's quite thin as well, like it's not a massive unit on the back, and it's very light, which is good. So I obviously ran the Povo Pack version of that. I had an iPad in here, and it shit the bed maybe 6 months ago and it hasn't been working, so I haven't had off-road maps. I started running new tracks on my head unit, but having two screens was just a little bit clunky. So this is all in one now, which is good. New tracks is pre-installed, all of that. So we're gonna go down, firstly transfer all the vents over and all the bracketry that goes onto this unit, and then we'll wire it up, basically plug it in, hook in your GPS unit, your antenna for your radio and your power, and it should bloody work. Let's try it out. Now, I don't know if I've actually shown you guys this before, but it is an electronic soldering iron from SP Tools. I want to show you how quickly it heats up. I use this thing all the time. Gone are the days of using your bloody gas one and it runs out. Where's the solder iron? All right. So this was dead cold. And look at that, it's already melting. Literally 10 seconds and it will last ages. Badass bit of kit. Okay, I had a bit of mucking around the bloody wiring, but I figured it out. You know what I didn't do? I just didn't plug the main harness in. Wouldn't bloody read about it. Anyway, this is pretty sick. Jamie's put the picture of my car on there, so shout out. Now, this is full like CarPlay setup, and like I said, it's got the main buttons on the bottom. It's wireless CarPlay, which a lot of cars aren't. I was actually in a mate's 300 series the other day, and it didn't have wireless CarPlay. So we'll let this connect. Shouldn't even have to go on a Bluetooth, I think it's just working. So obviously this thing's fully like, you can hook up Wi-Fi from your phone, or even if you got a SIM in the car or something, and you get full internet. Now, one of the cool things is, oh, we got CarPlay loaded up. So I've actually installed new tracks as well. So this is an off-road map that I was chatting about a while back, and it shows all your off-road maps. Now the cool thing about new tracks is it's compatible with CarPlay. So That's pretty sick. So here it shows all your different maps and stuff. So this is all saved offline. So like I said, when I had the iPad with off-road maps and then the head unit, at least now it's all in one, which is cool. Spotify, back to normal stuff now. A couple of little features that I love, obviously having buttons to be able to change volume instead of having to use a screen. Another one is you can hold the display button and it fully, oh, actually drag that down, and it fully turns off, which is cool. At night time, if you've got that blasting in your face and you don't want it there, you just do that and it turns the screen off. And you can also go split screen, so I can hold that and it cuts it in two. So then we've got your CarPlay on the top and you can like run YouTube on the bottom, so you can have a split screen setup. Fully sick. I rate this. It turns this car into the 21st century. So I G'd up Jamie and we've got a discount code BNB. So if you want to grab one, you're a Patrol guy, it comes with a full fascia, screen, everything. It'll even work with their steering wheels with the wireless buttons and stuff. So go check it out, use code BNB. I'll track a link down there. But one of my new favorite features of this car for sure. And it sounds good too. It's not just like, the audio somehow is better, even though nothing else has changed.
So I just got to use this SP kit that we've had sitting out the back for a while. We haven't really had an opportunity. It's like a universal, I guess, seal puncher tools. It comes in heaps of different sizes, so it's going to be super handy to punch in all these seals with the Diff. So for now, I'm just going to start punching in axle seals, then we're going to start assembling the swivel hubs, and then we can move on to the hubs, brake disc rotors, and all that fun stuff. Anyways, rightio, we're gonna learn something today for you guys to know. It's how to pack a bearing. There's two ways to do it. You can use our SP bearing packer, which we're gonna do for our wheel bearings, but this way I'm gonna show you the old school way. So this is basically just how to pack a bearing efficiently. You can't just rub them with grease. If you do that, grease doesn't get in them, you're gonna blow your bearings up, no good. Just grab a little like handful of grease and put it on this part of your hand, like the hard bit where your thumb is. The palm, yeah. The hard bit where your thumb is. And the grease is there, and that's grease. Is grease wet? Is water wet? It's the wet bit. Then you want to get this, hook your little finger through there, and then start just grabbing the corner and pushing the grease in like that. See that? Just a little bit at a time, so you're not having a big build up on your finger. And then keep doing that forever. Keep doing that until you see it coming out the top, like that. Fucking look at that, straight away, perfect demonstration. That's how you know your bearing is packed. Do that the whole way around and you're good to go. Rightio, so we're at the stage where we can do our bearings for the hubs now. We slapped together everything else. I showed you a method on how to pack bearings by hand, but if you don't want to get your hands greasy and take forever to do it, SP Tools has a bearing packer. Fucking nearly lost it. So you just fill the bottom compartment with grease, slap the bearing on top. I've already done a couple to get the hang of it, to see if, because I've never used one of these before. Then all you have to do is slap this, screw this one down on top until it's tight on the bearing and then give it a push. And just like that in there, you can see the grease is pushed out of all the tops. It's actually a really quick and easy way to grease your bearings. I'm quite impressed by this product. So now we'll just continue that for all of our other bearings. I could be wearing gloves and not getting my hands dirty, but couldn't be bothered. So we'll throw these bearings in, punch in the seals so we can put the hubs back on. We also did some wheel studs while we were at it. That's a really smart thing to do if you are doing a front end rebuild. Always do your wheel studs because they stretch and get old over time and can snap.
Alrighty guys, so Mitch has gone through and obviously rebuilt this whole diff. The good thing is pretty much everything is new on this except for the center and those kingpin carriers, but we've replaced all the bearings and seals. It's even got a new axle in there, got a new panhard, obviously got our billet steering arms as well, and we finally put on our proper steering dampener, which we needed as well. While we're at it, new brake rotors, new calipers, so it should be a fresh diff. It's even got the Harrop e-locker in there as well. There was one special ingredient I was waiting on, hot off the press. This is pretty exciting. The boys haven't stopped when it's come to billet parts. If you have held radius arms before, you will know it's not easy to carry, and I'm carrying two of them super easy. These are full 70-75 aluminium radius arms. I literally have the first set. The boys are pressing the bushes in literally this afternoon. So this was the last thing we were waiting on. The Patrol goes on the truck tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure I get these arms in. So the people at the Melbourne Fall Drive Show would have seen this in person for the first time ever. So this just adds to the whole keeping the weight down, keeping the strength up when it comes to your suspension. So Superior Engineering have always been innovating and pushing the boundaries when it comes to this. Back in the day when it's like everyone goes for the big lift, now the issue is GVM. There's more and more accessories and parts, so you can still have the lift you want, but not go overweight. And that's a big thing, especially when it comes to Patrol. So let's get this diff in. We have a proper 2-ton loaded axle with all the brand new radius and control arms from Superior. Should be a pretty bulletproof front end. So let's get it in there. Alrighty guys, we're moving on to something pretty exciting, and that is finally doing a new bull bar for the Patrol. So over the last few weeks, I've been playing with a design on Fusion and coming up with a bunch of different parts, a few different models, and a few test runs on how to build this bar. Now I've come up with a design I'm happy with, and the good news for you guys is I'm actually going to be building 10 of these limited edition B&B Lethal bars. So they'll be on the website that we link down below. If you want one of these, jump over and grab one. I can either do it powder coated and painted, or we can do a bare metal, or even a color. I wanted to do some with like the factory Patrol colors, maybe the champagne gold or silver or black or whatever. So let me know. There will be 10 available on the website. But what we're doing today, we're going to build one for this ute. So in front of me is the whole bar pretty much. I've plasma cut it all, gone through and got all the parts. Now you have to go and clean them up because the plasma leaves a bit of swarf and goo off the edge of the pieces, and then also grind off any sides that helps with the weld. Otherwise you get a porous weld with the contamination from the plasma. So I've cleaned up all the parts, gone through and bent up the bits I need, and pretty much what we're doing now, I'm just going to run a time lapse assembling this. So once you've got it all jigged up, it's pretty quick. We tack every piece on and build the bar, then we'll go through and fully weld it, flush it, paint it, and job done. So let's knock out 10 of these, but I'm going to film one for this car, and then the rest will be on the website for you guys to purchase if you're interested. So let's rip in. Alrighty guys, it is late, but I have mocked up the bar behind me, the B&B Lethal bar. Now, the job is to pull it off and fully weld it up, but that is a job for tomorrow because it is late and I want to go to bed. So we'll fully weld it up. I'll just film a time lapse to that, and then we can get into flushing it off and hopefully lay some paint tomorrow. That is the plan. And then it's on the truck that afternoon. Oh, by the way, if you're purchasing one on the website, it will be powder coated, not painted. We're just running out of time for this one, so let's just make it happen.
The next day.
Alrighty, so off camera, it's all been flushed up. Pretty boring. You just go through like 4 million fiber discs and a few sanding pads. Pretty much clean up all the different welds in that. It gives that nice finish, like it's almost just like a bent fold all the way around, get rid of all the welds. So I had some leftover poly U400 and some paint from the chassis, so it's good because it can go on bare metal, the primer, and then it's just a wet on wet with the gloss black. So that's just what we're gonna do for this one because we're running low on time. And then I've got some little inserts and that to go on here and some bolts, and it should be fine because we've got a couple of days before it goes on the truck. So we'll lay some paint on this for now and hopefully it comes up not too shabby. Alrighty legends, now the bar is finally painted. I've let it set. There's a few little bits of accessories I want to start putting on. So one thing I've always done with the bars I've built is put these Allen key stainless steel nuts in. So they're going to go in obviously. And I've added something a little bit extra. This is like a grade 8 polished bloody mirror finish stainless bevel that's going to go around these sections here. And I've also got bits that go around these ones here. So these are also going to be included in any ones that we sell on the website. I'm doing this sort of design. There's like a hexagon infill that can go there, or you can whack lights, whatever you want to do. So we're going to get these back pieces in, bolt these front sections on and all the nuts, and then it can finally get put on the car.